Woo! Well, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways. We're out here at this little marina, this little pocket marina. It's medium sized. It's small, but it's pretty decent. There's the 80-foot trawler out there, and our boat's way down there on the end, little tiny thing. Most of the boats in here are really big. I don't have a lot that I need to talk about with these boats. We're going to talk a little bit about my boat, and we're going to talk a little bit about morning exercises. But first, see this puppy over here? That is a little boat. That's just 24 foot. It's actually really small. It's got a nice engine on the back. I think it's a 160. Might be a 250. I think I saw 160. And it's this is actually what I would consider an ideal pocket boat for doing the ICW, doing the coastal stuff. It's set up for fishing, and you can leave some of that without overdoing it, and maybe even the loop. A lot of people wouldn't do the loop in something this small, but there's, again, me and the minimalism, this is really easy to get into and out of the odd places. For example, if this was spring, I could spend 2 months just doing the James, Piankatank, Rappahannock rivers and the little bays associated, and never cross my path more than once or twice, like never stay in the same place more than 2 or 3 nights, and really enjoy it if I was on a boat like this. Now, if I'm on a boat like the sailboat next to it, it's not as easy. You've got too much, bridges to deal with. You've got more draft, 6-foot draft. You can't get into some of the places. So that's something to think about. On the other hand, you have an entire house down there. So space is your key. I think the only thing I would change on this boat, if I was going to cruise it, and this is just cruiser log, I would do something with the flying bridge to either make it foldable, take it down, maybe even just remove it. I think it's a good thing to have at times, but I would really like to be able to get that station down. And it may even be foldable. I don't know. Possibly, on the other hand, frame a folding bimini shade cover for it. But I really don't think, it's useful for fishing, but it's useful a little bit for docking, but it just increases your height and makes some of the really weird little spots harder to reach because of bridge. So maybe that's that's flying bridge for fishing, and maybe I would get rid of it. I think I'd go ahead and keep the trolling motor up front, because I think that's actually it's okay. Keep some of the rod holders, but really, really make a nice canvas tent for the deck area. Maybe extend the hard top a little bit with a folding fabric bimini. Make it so that it's a more livable space. And that's about it. It's got a decent V-berth down there, this model of boat, and you've got a sitting area in the pilot house, and that's all. That's it. For me and a wife and a small dog, that's plenty. As long as you keep moving, that's plenty. And that is a big enough and modifiable enough, changeable, variable, diverse. It's a useful enough cockpit deck, back deck area that you can do a lot with it. Okay, you can put out chairs, you can fold the chairs. You can put out a table, you can fold the table. You can put out shade and fabric structures like the cockpit tent, or you can just have it open. It's really nice that way. I think the only other thing I would want to do is make sure that the front windows are set up to open, because that's actually kind of a big deal for me. More airflow is always good. That's about it for talking about that. Our boat, our little boat way down on the end of there. There's the monkey. All right, we have, let's see, what have I done? I'm going to go back and pan out so that this camera does not seem so shaky. We've I've got that white rectangle that is the Starlink, so I've got it mounted. I need to do a couple things with it to get it in the wiring and everything set up. I've got a couple more things to do with the solar frame, the solar arch frame, and the rear pulpit. I'm just going to tie it all together and make it a little sturdier, and that'll make it easier to lift the outboard when we need to. And that's about it. I don't know what other projects I have for that today. I may raise the bimini. The bimini is actually very low when it's fully opened. And I think without changing the mounts, I think I can get it up about 4 more inches. Beyond that, I would have to extend the tubing. So I'd have to get an extension, 2 extensions, and 2 short pieces of tubing. I have the tubing. I'd have to get 2 extensions. So maybe, possibly. It's one of those things that could happen. Doubtful. That's a lot of work, but because the bimini's not that great. It's just I don't have any other frame pieces to put the hard bimini up yet. That's about it. So morning practices. I want to talk to you just a little bit. This is a fairly short video, but we're going to talk a little bit about waking up. Ooh, how do I talk about this? So when you wake up in the morning, before you get out, before you do anything, put a little picture board in your head of your day. Don't make it specific. Don't make it like super detailed. We're not trying to lock down a series of events. We're just trying to lock down or improvise a theme for the day, a celebration for the day. So what you want to do is you just want to see yourself at the end of the day, at the end of the office, some point, not when you're going to bed, but some point later in the day, eating dinner, sitting with your family, closing up shop if you're working in a shop, something like that. And you want to just feel good. You just want to give yourself a quick vision of yourself in that environment and feeling really good. Just, kind of a fuck yeah, I did it all. That's it. Just have that, get that sense of what it feels like when it's bubbling up from your gut to just feel good, like everything went well. Do that every morning. It's a subtle thing, but I think that you'll find that, it can't hurt, and it definitely helps you get out of bed. So just go for it. Okay. That's pretty much all there is to that. At the same time, if you can find 2 things every morning that you are grateful for, and not the same 2 things every morning, switch it up, make it real. And you want to make them small things. You don't want to try to go and do meta for the world. Like, I'm thankful for the entire human race. No. I'm thankful for my coffee cup. Yeah. I'm thankful for the pair of socks I'm going to put on when my toes get cold. Little stuff. Change it up, but get the details of your universe and be grateful for them, one step at a time. This is long-term stuff. You just want to develop a habit and do it every morning. And if you miss it because you got to go to the bathroom really bad and you brush your teeth and you're looking in the mirror and you remember it, do it then. Just stop and do it then. Don't worry about it. It's cool. But you want to do it as soon as possible after you wake up. Okay? Try this. I promise it won't hurt you. All right, stay sideways.